Hello again, and welcome to, I think, maybe the last episode. I'm feeling good about stopping it from here. I've changed a lot. The first thing that you'll note is that I've changed the name from main.cpp to prime date uh, because it makes more sense that way. Also, I think in the last iteration, so I got bored of typing on screen, so I'm just going to tell you what I've changed and kind of why I changed it and show you what it looks like because lots have changed. So I've added fstream there because I want to make a Google Calendar that I can just look at, and the Google Calendar will tell me if the day is prime and how is it prime, and that way I don't have to like go and check the date or check the list like a text file or write it down somewhere else. Because let's be honest, if it's a calendar thing, which prime dates are in my mind a calendar thing, I may as well just look at a calendar. So my idea here is to have a file that's a comma separated file that's formatted for Google Calendar so that I can just import it and make it easy. So to do that though, to make a file, I'm going to need fstream. Also, you'll note that inside of this prime function here, I've gotten rid of a lot of the couts. I think it was just, I, I'm feeling it was a little sloppy, having a function looking for a prime printing out onto the screen. It got really annoying trying to follow it. I mean, my reversing function didn't print out anything onto the screen. It makes sense to print out something onto the screen. I think in my head, I just broke something. Why is it red? I don't know. I hit a button. It turned red. It was weird. So it makes sense to print out onto the screen when I'm testing a function to make sure that it works. Um, but anyway, that's my prime function. This is my reversing function. And then down here in main, I've got, of course, opening my prime list file, and I'm making a straight up text file called prime list. Haven't really changed any of these things. I have gotten rid of the options 1 through 6. Let's be honest, I wasn't using any other option than 7. I want to do it all of the time. And so I just asked for a 2-digit year, and I haven't actually tested this with a 4-digit year. So we're gonna run the program for you with a 2-digit year, and then just to be funny, I'll run it with a 4-digit year and see how it goes. Anyway, so the first line here is actually putting in the header file or the header line for the Google Calendar doc. So it's going to print out, and as you can see here, well, a little farther down, it's putting out into the file, it's making the start date or the day of the prime day. The subject is what the prime day is called, and then it's an all-day event. And that's all I need for the Google Calendar. It'll import everything below then. And then, of course, I've got my beautiful loops here for 12 months, and every month does have 31 days. But Google Calendar, if you put in February 31st, it puts the event on March 3rd, which I think is nifty. It's nice that it just does that. I guess, it makes sense in a way. If I wanted something on like the 300th day, I could just put January 300th, and it would be on the 300th day of the year, which is cute. But it's sort of anyway, stupid. And I'm not really using the leap year stuff. I don't know how to tell. I just don't want to add it in there, so I'm just not going to add it in there to find out if February is a leap year. But I do know that February never has 30 days. So if it's got more than if it's got 30, we're just going to break out and we're not going to do the rest of the loops. Same with April, June, September, and November. All of those only have 30 days. So we're going to kick it out of the loop if there's 31. And then, of course, we're just keeping track of the total primes. We're not printing that into our file, but it's cute to see the output on the screen. And then here we go. We are setting the number in equal to the order of our date. So this instance, it would be day, month, year, giving us a beautiful 6-digit. Oh, yeah. So if I make a 4-digit year, this is really going to screw up here because my 4-digit year is just not going to add correctly if it's 4 digits. That's good to know. So I won't be running a 4-digit year because it's clearly not going to work. But anyway, it's checking to see if that particular number is prime. And then if it's prime, it will print out to the screen the number and a space. Yeah, because there might be more, and all of the numbers of that date will show up on the same line. And then it's up counting the count of primes, and then it's outputting to the file. It's outputting the month dash day dash year, which is the date format that Google Calendar likes, and then it's outputting a comma, and then the number that it found that it was prime, and then a space, and it's this beautiful order here is the same order as here, so day, month, year, and so it's actually going to put out the number that is prime, and then label the number in the event. And then it's going to put a comma, and then it's going to say true and go to a new line. So that true there just says that it's an all-day event for Google, and we are doing this about 12 times, one for every normal order and then one for every reverse order. And the only thing that's really changing here, I mean, it's a lot of repetition, but the only thing that's changing is the order and the order here. There might be an easier way to do that, but I was fine with just copying and pasting and making sure that this and this matched. So again, now on the reverse days, or for the reverse numbers, we just have a capital R and then the normal original order, so day, month, year, and day, month, year, and that'll be reversed. And it goes down through, and then of course it just keeps track of the max day and the max primes, which is fine, and it prints out an end line. And then, of course, at the very end of the program, it tells the total primes and then it closes the file. So let's go ahead and run that for us. And we should see the output screen pop up shortly. I don't know why it's taking so long. I think it takes longer because I'm trying to record my video. Anyway, we're going to give it a 2-digit year. We've done 18 a lot, but let's go ahead. I think there were 416 or so prime days, in 2018, but that was before we got rid of the 31st for every single month. So let's go ahead and see how we go. Scrolling through very nicely. I think I actually had, yeah, in that 31-day checking, I had it print out if it, or not print, it's not printing into the file, it's just printing out on the screen, whether or not November or the other months that have 30 days, it tells me. And that, again, it was just an error check to make sure that it was happening and it wasn't getting any Junes, like June 29th, and there's no June 31st, which is nice. So there's a bunch of them here, all primes. And I guess we lost a couple of days, so there probably was a 31st, that was prime that isn't prime anymore. And 6 seems to be the max on any given day, and it looks like we hit that right away. So it probably didn't check afterwards. Anyway, so we'll close that. Now that also, let's leave that open. That also makes a text file which looks like this in white on the side of your screen. So this is that first thing that it's printing out, and then of course it's printing out the day and then the name of the event, and then saying that it's a true event. And we can see here on the first, we actually have 6. And this, I really like this because you can see, these two right here, 11,801 and 11,801, look very similar, but they're actually 2 different orders: the day, year, month, and the month, year, day. And also, of course, the reverse is true for that, and it looks the same for the reverse.